If you like polishing shoes, then this video is for you. What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the Tring Shoe Repair channel. As always, I'm Dan. I've got an amazing video for you today, something really cool. We're doing a cobbler versus shoe shiner polish off. We're having a shoe shining competition. We've got a really special guest on the channel for you today. We've got a professional shoe shiner coming in to show us exactly how to mirror shine your shoes, a tutorial on how to polish your shoes. So keep watching, see what it's all about. Alright, so once again, welcome back to the channel, guys. Hope you're doing fantastic. Let me know what you've been up to down in the comments. And let me introduce you to our very special guest today, Anders. Anders is the former Swedish shoe shine champion.
Thank you. I'm also the brand director for PB Shoe Care and a bit of a passionate person for high shine shoes.
So Anders and I got to chatting. We thought it'd be a bit of fun to have a shoe polishing competition. So we're going to show you that, guys. Anders is going to take us through just how to do a professional mirror shine, a bit of a tutorial.
So the shoe shining guide I'm going to give you is a short one, but it's going to be condensed. So hopefully you'll learn something on how to get that sharp shine.
So just before Anders jumps in, I'm going to show you, this is our brand new shoe. This is the one that's already had some polish. So Anders is going to show us how to...
Pre-condition. Yeah, fantastic. So first off, we start off with a proper cleaning cloth. And this is a cotton fiber cloth. And we start to use the cream that has cleaning potential. We apply it. We make sure we don't apply too much. And we apply it on the whole shoe, like so. And try to be a bit aggressive to really tear off and dissolve the old waxes.
So you do have to use some elbow grease.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Rub off the old
Exactly.
polish.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So this really helps to dissolve the waxes, the pigmentation, to create that nice, neat finish just before you go into the high shine.
Here's a good question. Is it important what sort of cloth you use?
For cleaning, definitely, because this is slightly abrasive.
Bit rougher.
Yeah, exactly, rougher. It's not a sand grip, so it won't tear it off, but it will help to just remove the soft waxes, the pigmentation, to even it out.
Okay, so we really are giving it a good scrub.
Yes,
That's
exactly, exactly.
Rougher cloth.
Yeah, you can follow up with some coarse brush like the Walbo brush or a quality horsehair brush, but generally I make sure to use this more abrasive fiber cloth. Right, so the first thing is, now this shoe is clean, but we're gonna do a high shine on this new shoe. So first off, we start with a polish, and we want to use a hard polish specifically for spit shining or mirror shining. What you can do is either apply with a cloth or by hand. And this is the building phase of the spit shine. It is mainly just about building a wax layer on top of the toe. And doing so, we want to use thin layers. We want to apply thin layers on top of each other. And the reason this is because applying a thick layer is more unstable. The solvents in the bottom will not be able to evaporate, and building thin layers on top of each other will speed up the whole process.
So when we're doing individual layers, is it such that they dry and set in multiple layers, like a wafer, compared to one thick lump of wax?
Exactly. So it's a lamellar process where each layer have time to evaporate by itself. Okay. And this is also ideal if we jump between the different regions of the shoe. We might apply a bit of wax on the toe, might a bit of wax on the heel, and just move around, even might do one pair at the same time, toe, heel, heel. And this way means that we give that wax layer, that's very thin wax layer, a bit of time to settle. So here we applied a couple of layers of wax, and then we're just jumping to the heel and start applying a wax layer here.
So right now we're letting the toe dry.
Yeah.
Whilst we're doing the heel.
Exactly. And what we do if we have a pair is we might actually start doing the other toe. We could at this stage also start to just apply a thin layer on, for example, the vamp and the quarter. And this is because you want to apply a thin layer you can brush off dry later on. You don't want to spit shine obviously around the creases. That's a classic mistake.
Because it cracks.
Exactly. And the application of thin layers is also a good methodology to avoid this cracking issue of the wax layer. Because usually what happens when you apply a very thick layer is the solvents in the bottom doesn't evaporate as fast as the top, and with a brittle wax, it could easily crack. So we want, again, to have those steps, lamellar steps.
So just putting too much of a thick layer of wax on, it will crack by itself.
Exactly, okay. Even though it's a non-flexible part of the shoe. And you could use without gloves or with gloves or cloth. It's just a matter of speed here.
So obviously you're using your preferred product,
yeah.
PB, I use the Sapphire, but for the viewers that want to try this themselves, can you use any polish?
Any polish that is wax-based and doesn't use a lot of oils. So a polish, yes. You can use a soft polish or hard polish. The harder ones is going to be faster and provide generally more shine. Okay. But a soft one is obviously possible. It's just a matter of speed.
Okay, so you're going to save yourself some time.
Yeah.
Polish that is harder. Yeah. That means more wax in it.
It means that it's more of the harder waxes. You look more carnauba wax, montan wax. These are the harder waxes compared to, for example, beeswax, which is much softer, much more sticky. So this means that it's a higher melting temperature, as well as you have the solvents that need to evaporate. Is the ratio between wax and solvents is also different.
So I can jump in and ask you quickly. Sure. We get lots of the comments from military guys that swear by using beeswax, polishing up the old army boots and such. Can you weigh in on that?
The military method of using beeswax is really good for water repellency. It's sticky and it's soft, which is ideal if you want water repellency. But for high shine, I always strongly recommend to use wax polish that pushes the harder waxes slightly.
So is there any sort of rule as to how many layers you should be aiming for?
For new people or newbies, just add a couple and then start to polish. If you're experienced, try to push it as much as possible to apply many layers in the initial stage. Because not only will the wax layers be able to release and create a really high shine, they actually also work as a barrier for when you apply water. So if you, for example, apply too thin layers and start using water, you could potentially risk water stains.
Okay.
So that's a sort of a good methodology just to avoid that typical issue. So let's say we feel satisfied at the moment with the application. At this stage, I personally would say you take the shoe, set it down, and wait about 1 hour. Because this allows the wax to settle.
Really hard.
Yeah. Do some work, watch some television, do whatever suits you. But let's say we're at the stage where we want to polish it up. Now we need a polishing cloth and we need water.
Right, so we've given it half an hour for the waxes to settle, and this is going to take us through the next step of the polish.
So the next step is we're going to go for a release and a initial finish. And what we want to do is use water and a cloth to polish up the wax. Now, allowing the wax to settle for about 30 minutes means that it's going to be much more harder. You can't actually start off with water. You need to start off first with wax.
Okay.
But the water temperature here is a key feature.
We've just had this in the freezer, haven't we?
Yeah, exactly. So what we did is we put water in the freezer, froze it down to ice, and we're going to use this water to polish. Because when we use cold water, this helps to settle wax even further, so we can build a wax layer much faster and much thicker. The problem, though, there's a catch.
Okay, the big problem.
Yeah, the big catch. It's because the wax surface, the shine, is going to be quite dull if you use cold water, especially iced water. But that's for the next phase, the finishing, where we don't want to use cold, we want to use warm. We're getting into that.
So sort of finishing part one.
Finishing part one, okay. And where we want to use cold water just to speed up this process. Okay. So first we start by adding a bit of wax to the cloth, and we start polishing. Now this is going to dissolve the old waxes that have already started to set. We can add maybe one more layer. And now, as soon as I feel friction again, I'm just going to add my drop of water. Never over apply, just keep it simple.
Okay, so that's an interesting thing to touch on. So as you're going with the cloth initially, it's very smooth, and then you start to feel friction. We don't want friction.
No, friction is your enemy, because as soon as you feel friction, you're going to tear off that shine. You're going to tear it off or remove it, which is unideal.
So can you say how much sort of pressure you're applying right now? Is it a very light touch?
That is actually
a knack to it?
No. I would say it's in between, because if you're too light, you're not really gonna polish it off, and if you're too hard, you're gonna destroy it. You're gonna tear off, just like with a high friction.
Okay.
So it's all about balance. It should really feel smooth. Apply as much pressure as you can, but being able to have a smooth movement.
Is it important what sort of cloth we're using to do our finishing?
Yeah, actually, it really is, and the material is quite relevant. I've seen a lot of people using stockings.
Yeah, tights.
Yeah, and I would argue that those are quite unideal, because stockings is made of polyester. Polyester is a very hard fabric.
Abrasive, maybe.
Exactly. So in one direction it's going to be real smooth, but as soon as you start using these small circles, you're going to start to tear it off.
Okay.
And this is going to cause a real big issue. So I really recommend to use a proper cotton one.
So pure cotton cloth.
Pure cotton,
the best thing.
The absolutely best cotton. I've tried silk. I tried polyester. I tried tencel. I really tried to expand the view, experiment, and widen the view. Cotton is the best.
So I just want to ask you, Anders, we was hearing in the comments all the time, people saying about the spit shine, the old-fashioned used to spit on the shoes to get the shine. Does that relate to why we're using the water now?
Yeah, definitely. So the water is essential, because you need a ratio between wax and water. And if you start to polish your shoe without sufficient amount of water, you're just going to tear it off and not be able to build that shine. So that's why the olden days, the military or the shoe shiners running around the city, they will actually use the spit, because you might not have that available.
Okay. We don't want to spit on the shoes today. So
No.
so using the water is a little bit nicer.
Luxury having water available.
Running water.
Exactly. So now what I'm gonna do is just finish off here. It's, again, we've used cold water, so the shine is gonna be slightly dull. But the goal now is just to build layers, which we've actually achieved. We build a wax layer that is sufficiently thick to be able to finish off a high shine. In the next phase, we want to really bump up the shine to high shine, and that's where we use a different methodology.
So now we are on to, what should we call, part 2 of the finishing?
Yeah, exactly, finishing. So when we finish, we first off want to use warm water instead of cold.
So big distinction there.
Yeah.
We're moving from ice water to warm water.
Yeah, exactly. And we're still going to use wax, it's just that we're going to apply a very thin layer of wax together with warm water. Now, there's a general rule for shoe shining, and it's that you should never really change position of the cloth.
Okay.
Well, I would argue that this is actually generally the case. When I do it, I can actually finish it off placing a new position of the cloth and polish. It's gonna take a slightly longer time, but the finishing is gonna be much more sharper.
Okay, cool.
So patience, as always. So first, we take a new position, apply a dab of wax, not much, just a dab of wax, and we're just gonna start polishing. And as soon as you feel friction, you can just add a pinch of warmer water, and you can start to use your breath right away. This is the first initial part of the finishing.
So this should feel super smooth.
Much more super smooth. And in an ideal situation, you've built enough thick layers to be able to just not use any more water, only use your breath. But that might require a longer, a thicker shine.
We're doing the old breath shine.
Yeah, exactly.
Something I experimented with.
So as you can see, I'm trying to avoid using more water. I'm just finishing it off and doing small circles. And doing this really neat shine. So this goes from a bit dull, it's going from dull to much more shiny.
I'm noticing you're adding much less wax than in the first stage of the finish.
Yeah, so finishing is not really about building. So you actually, why you want to apply wax is because you want to fill up all those scratches and create a more of a sharper image. Okay. So there is, for example, now I'm going to show you, we're just going to apply a bit of wax, and we're actually going to apply a thin amount first of water and just polish slightly. Now I'm going to use isopropanol mixed water and be really fast about it. This is going to create a much sharper shine compared to, let's say, if you use warm water.
So this is the alcohol mix we're using now?
Exactly. This really does, it will definitely help to create a much sharper shine.
What does the alcohol mix do specifically compared to the warm water?
What it does is that the the alcohol evaporates quite quickly. And when it does, it draws energy from the substrate, and this procedure decreases the temperature quite fast and creates a much harder and stiff wax that is a really high shine. So you can't use it on if you apply too much wax. It can only be used if you apply very little, and you can only apply high concentrated isopropyl mix on a spit shine. You can't use it on untreated leather.
And you definitely smell the alcohol. Can we
Whiskey's
use
better.
vodka to do it as well?
I've not tried with whiskey, but I should.
It might make it more fun.
Make it definitely more fun. So this is just a delicate process just to clean it up and to create a much more sharper shine.
So just while you're finishing up, Anders, we always get some questions in the comments that I always ask you, something I've struggled with myself. Earlier, when we're applying our layers, sometimes it will feel that we are going to polish and the wax moves or sort of smudges around. So we're not just delicately shining up the top surface, the polish moves. So what's the issue there when we feel like that's happening?
So wax polish is a mixture of waxes and solvents. And it's really soft when you apply it because the solvents will keep the harder waxes soft. Now the problem you're doing when you apply a bit too much wax is you're just moving them around. So the wax is never allowed to settle. Even if you, let's say, starting to build a spit shine and apply too much wax on top of that, you're just dissolving the old wax and not really allowing it to set.
So that's why it's important for us to give it time for each layer to harden, the solvents to evaporate, and then they'll stay still.
Exactly.
Okay.
So this is generally the view that if you spit shine, wait 2 days after you've done it and just finish it up in the end.
So a lot of times when people say they put on polish after polish, it doesn't seem to shine up. It's because they're sitting there cracking on. You need to take a minute and let it dry in between doing the layers.
Exactly.
Cool.
Could have put it better.
Right, so would you say we're about there, Anders?
Yeah, we're just about getting a high shine on the toe. Obviously, waiting 2 days would even put this shine in a much even crazier shine state. But this is good enough. I mean, you can read the text spit shine on the spit shine, which I love. That's me.
Oh, there we are.
There we go.
Well, there we are.
Well, good day,
see
mate.
myself. Howdy.
Howdy, fella. So now we're at the stage we have our spit shine on the heel, on the toe, and we did apply a wax layer on the vamp around the creasing.
rest of the shoe.
Yeah. So this is not shine yet, and we don't want to spit shine it. We want to use a shining brush, and for this we use a yak hair brush. We can just buff it up real nice, so we can create a great shine. What's important though is that we want actually to go slightly on the toe because we want to create a gradient of shine where we have a high shine to a less shine. We don't want a sharp contrast between a high shine and a not as much shine. So it creates a much more balanced appearance of the shoe.
So could you say there's any particular difference between shining with a brush and a cloth? Of course we use the cloth for our mirror shine. Why would you use a brush?
The brush is the finishing, so we might not even go full around the toe. It's just about creating, like I said, a gradient, a balance between the different parts. So this is ideal when we want to shine parts where we can't really spit shine. So this is better than a stocking or a polishing cloth. It's just that you can't polish with it. Obviously, you can't polish with water.
So it's getting that even finish.
Yeah,
across the whole shoe.
exactly. And here's the thing. While I do love a high spit shine, it's the balance of the shoe that actually creates the general appearance of the shoe.
Or to get the best reflection.
Yeah. Try this. Try it here. I think here you can get.
Oh yeah. How did you know that? This is dark.
This is not my first time.
yeah. Asking the expert. Okay. Okay, so you guys have seen how it's done then. We know how to get our mirror shine. So what we're going to do now is have our friendly little contest. We've both got the same shoe here. These you might have remembered we showed on the channel before. These are from the Yearn company, sent over to us from our friends at the Artisan company. These are Chinese handmade and hand welted shoes. They're really nice. And this is both a pair of brand new shoes. So we're starting from scratch and we're going to crack on and do our mirror shine.
Let's get on it.
So just while Anders is getting ready, I'll show you. He's of course using these PB products, which is his personal preference. I'm using the Sapphire because you know that's my favorite that we use on the channel. I feel like Anders is genuinely in competition mode again.
He's always
He's back at the championships.
And that was stressful though. That was literally panic mode. I mean, it's a competition. Come on. But again, you can't really force a spit shine. You kind of just have to do it. So when you spit shine, one of the most important factors when doing this is to use all your senses. Smell, touch, sound, so listen. All the senses will give you input on how and exactly where you are in your spit shine, what you need to do. Do I need to apply more wax? Do I need to apply more polish?
Halfway through, guys. How's it going?
It's going great. Building wax on the toe and on the heel and applied on the whole vamp and quarter.
Well, my one's a little bit dull, but I'm hoping for a big finish at the end.
It's always the finish that's the...
It's the finish that counts.
Yeah, exactly. Never take a victory in forehand.
I'm going to keep going and it's just going to pop all of a sudden.
That's the master of a shoe shining. It always pops in the end.
Well, I am a secret master, especially at popping at the end. Okay, so I think we're basically at the end, aren't we, Anders?
Yeah, a really
finished?
nice neat spit shine.
All right, so we've finished and we're going to show you guys our each individual finish result. So this is my one.
And now this is mine.
So of course me and Anders are going to favour our own shoe shines. We need a judge, so we've brought in a neutral party. Welcome to the channel, William.
Thank you very much.
William's the owner of our friends at the Artisan Company and business partner with Anders and dear friends, so he's going to be the judge. You know,
All right, let's have a look at
them
both shoes. Ooh,
what's the verdict?
there is some difference, but you know what? I mean, both of you are all my friends, right? But Dan, I have to say, Anders has an incredible shine on his.
Well, you know, the expert shoe shiner was probably going to have a bit of an edge.
Thank you.
All right, so Anders has won the shoe shining competition, but now I'm going to make him step into my world. He's going to have a go at repairing a pair of shoes and see if I can get my own back. We need a shoe to fix, however, so William's been very kind. He's going to donate one of his shoes. What have we got?
I'm sacrificing this.
Yeah.
Yearn suede monks.
Say goodbye for the last time.
The shoe's been put on the line. We're just going to put a new leather sole on it and see what we can do. So first thing you got to do, Anders, is get the glue brush and pop some glue on the shoe.
Right.
But one thing you have to do is you have to say, let's get sticky.
Let's get sticky with Mr. Dan.
Well, unfortunately, you've put too much glue on now, you've ruined it.
Damn.
I'm not happy with this.
So now you're going to heat up the sole. That's it. Be careful you don't melt your glove. That'll do. Now you're ready to stick it on the shoe. So that's it. Line up your sole, press it down and roll it across. Now if you want, there's a nice handy hammer behind you. You can go and whack it on.
Remember, the harder the better.
It's gonna be the shoe for the rest of your life.
That'll do. And I'll run it over to this press. And then pull down the lever. There we go. You just start it and it will snag. So William's shoe is going down a very dangerous machine right now.
Anders, don't cock it up.
Like I said, say goodbye to your fancy shoe. This is sort of fun.
Right, now for the scary bit, Anders is going to use the sanding machine. So you just hit these two buttons. There you go, that's the fan. And then the next one, there we go. Okay, so the next bit, Anders has got to go and put the groove in the sole, which you guys that have seen before might know it's a little bit tricky. So fingers crossed for Anders on this one. And watch your thumbs.
Ah, this is hard. Oh, yeah.
Eye of the tiger.
Eye of the tiger. I can feel it pulling, yeah.
Oh no, Anders, man.
Now, stitching the sole on is pretty tricky. Anders is going to give it his best shot, and we'll see what happens. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. There we go. Oh,
Damn.
alright, so you got to go round the toe.
Damn.
1, 2, 3. Watch your fingers. Oh. So let's just have a look at Anders' handiwork on the stitching. It's pretty good. I mean, I would give him a job. So now we're going to see if he can do some finishing touches.
I'm gonna make this perfect now. Oh, shit.
Oh,
Shit.
Anders.
Shit. It's okay, it's okay. I'll brush it up. I'll just brush it up.
Right, so you finished your shoe repair, Anders. Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Okay.
However, William,
What happened?
it was a slight accident.
What'd you do, man? What'd you do?
I slipped. But it's okay, I can fix it.
He slipped, ladies and gents.
I tell you what, you're getting me a pair of new shoes.
No, I can polish it up, I swear. It's big shine.
He's a professional shoe shiner, so he should be able to polish it out.
On second thought, we might be able to sell this in our store.
10% off.
Flip-flop. Okay guys, so that is it. That is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed our fun little shoe shine competition. I hope you picked up some tips from Anders about how to achieve a mirror shine. Now, of course, if you want to try this out yourself, remember you can go to our online shop. We can find the Sapphire Mirror Gloss to get your mirror shine along with any of the other products that we have on the shop. We are an exclusive Sapphire retailer. But I've got to say huge thanks to William and Anders coming all the way up from London to do this video with me. It was a lot of fun. Hope you guys learned something from it. Make sure to give the video a huge like if you did enjoy it. It helps us with the algorithm, tells YouTube there's something worth watching here. And remember to hit the notifications bell so that you are notified every time I upload some new content. But for now, I am out of here. Thank you for joining me, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.